Good day, and welcome to the Impact Investing Show with your host Samuel ICanWin, Ikhinmwin. Guys, it's episode 64, and today's episode is going to be slightly different. We're going to be talking about Dmx's fiance, okay, and how she actually missed the number one key as it pertains to property investing. So if you're looking forward to tonight's show, let me see your comments in the live chat. And if you're watching this on a replay, let me see your comments down below, letting us know you're looking forward to tonight's show. Guys, for those of you who are new, welcome to the Impact Investing Show. This is the show where you get creative property investing on demand. I said it, I'll say it again. This is the show where you get creative property investing on demand. So let me start by saying this. If you're someone who's brand new to this channel, you're brand new to the live stream, it's your first time ever tuning in and logging on, what I'd love for you to do is write the word new in the chat. NEW, write the word new for me in the chat. Now, on the other hand, if you're someone who's been here before, if you're someone who's part of our community, you're someone who's engaged before, you've thrown comments in before, you've connected before, you've chatted with us before on the live stream, let us know by simply putting the two letters BH in the chat for being here before. Guys, if you are one of the new people, let me just start off by welcoming you. And if you're someone who's been here before, let me welcome you also. It's always great to have our community here on the live stream, connecting, talking, speaking, chatting about real property issues and things that help us move further, faster in our property journey. So without further ado, we're going to be doing the same thing on tonight's show. Guys, I hope you're looking forward to tonight's show. We've got so much to cover, so much to go through, and guys, I'm telling you, the value is going to be jam packed. So let me just go through very quickly, how did we end up getting here? For those of you who are brand new, last year, in the year 2020, I was the host of one of the largest property networking events in the UK. I used to host a networking event in the Canary Wharf location in London. We would attract over 100 people every single month to our networking event. It was an amazing networking event where we would have two speakers talk about their property journey every single month. And you know what happened in 2020? We heard about lockdown, we heard about pandemics, and all of these other words which, you know, now have just become common parts of our vocabulary. And because of all of the things that transpired in 2020, basically, we were no longer able to continue our live networking event. So what that basically ended up happening or turning into was basically my team saying to me, Samuel, how are you going to continue to help these people? Because whilst having the networking event, what would tend to happen is at the end of every event, when you have over 100 people in attendance, you'd have a queue of 15 people, 20 people, 30 people waiting at the end to speak to me and to ask me questions about their property journey, how to help them, how I could support them, etc., etc. And all of that changed when lockdown came into play. When lockdown came into play, we were no longer able to really go out of our way and spend that time with those people. So I said to my team, look, how can I help these people that are now reaching out to me on LinkedIn, these people that are now reaching out to me on Facebook, these people that are now reaching out to me on all of these other platforms? How can I still help them to move further, faster in their property investing journey? And my team, again, the value of having a great team, my team said, Samuel, look, this is simple. All you've got to do is make yourself available on a regular basis in order to help people move further, faster as it pertains to their property investing journey. And I said, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. So thus the actual Impact Property Show was actually born. It was born right from there. I got my man Rex Banner in the chat. He says BH, which means being before. Rex, great to have you on the show tonight. I hope you're looking forward to the show tonight, Rex. It's slightly different. We took a contextual aspect of something that's going on in the world, some real recent news, in order to share some real key concepts about our property journey. So hopefully, Rex, you're going to get a lot of value out of that. I've got Mandy in the chat. Mandy says hi Mandy, great to have you on again. Hopefully this time Mandy's not in the car. I know last week on episode 63 Mandy, you was in the car. I think you said you was actually working as well. So Mandy, great to have you on the stream, great to see you again. I got Mrs. ICanWin admin in the house. Mrs. ICanWin says, looking forward to hearing this. Yes, I know you are, because we're going to be breaking some stuff down. And I got also Ikhinmwin in the chat who says well expected. I think that chat comment came in way earlier on. So again, great to have everybody in the chat who's in the chat. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed to this channel, then you know what to do. This is the channel where you get creative property investing on demand. So there's going to be value upon value in this show. So feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to share this video with other people in your community who you think need to move further, faster in their property investing journey as well. Now, without further ado, let's go further in. What did we cover over the last couple of weeks? Let me help you guys by helping you understand. My team said to me, as I mentioned last year in 2020, look, Samuel, make yourself available regular basis. That's what we've been doing, live show. Now, this week, we're on episode 64, which means back to back for 64 weeks. We've been showing up, giving you guys value, helping you guys understand how you can invest in property from a creative perspective. Okay, and I know we've helped thousands of people, hundreds of people through means of this channel to see things slightly differently in order for them to make way more revenue, but also in order for them to maybe invest way less of their own revenue in order to make property profit. So guys, again, like I said, if you're looking to get forward to tonight's show, let us know in the chat what you're looking forward to specifically. Is it going to be the specific key, okay, that was missed by DMX's Fiancé, or is it something else? Let us know what you're looking forward to in tonight's show. Now, without further ado, let's dig a little bit deeper. What I want to share with you guys before we go straight into the content for tonight's show is what we've covered over the last couple of weeks, so you guys can know if you're new specifically what you may have missed. And for those of you who've been here before, if you missed any of these previous episodes, you might be able to go back and check in and see, okay, what was this about, what was that about. Last week, episode 63, we covered the 3 keys to every sale. Okay, I thought last week was a very powerful stream for a number of reasons. I also mentioned last week that there was going to be a surprise if you guys hit some metrics, and unfortunately the community didn't hit the metrics. Okay, this is where you usually have a sound effect which goes ooh or something like that. Maybe we need to get that on the stream. I've said that before, so maybe I'm saying it again. All right, but guys, what I want you to understand, okay, I've got my man Ikhinmwin in the chat. He says family's fabulous session. All right, so I hope you guys are looking forward to today. Now, one of the things that kind of I was looking forward to was announcing on this stream that, guys, you hit it. You hit the metric. We got the 14 comments. We got the 14 likes on episode 63. And now we're giving you all of this free value. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the metric, so we won't be giving you that free value in the same way. So again, guys, I do apologize, but let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, about the free value we were supposed to give you if you guys gave us, I think it was 14 likes, because it was 14 days of value we were going to give you. If you guys gave us 14 likes and 14 comments telling us what time you'd like us to stream on those 14 days, from that was supposed to be from the 1st of July, which was 2 days ago, all the way up until the 14th of July. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel. If you don't feel happy about it, if you're not glad about it, let me know. I need engagement, guys, okay, because I need to know that you guys want this stuff or you don't want this stuff when we're putting it together for you guys, because we don't create this stuff for ourselves, we create this stuff for you. Now, going forward, what did we cover over the last few weeks? In last week's session, we covered the 3 keys to every sale. It was an extremely powerful session, probably because it was my birthday week. So I was amped, I was pumped, and I came with all of that energy. And I shared with you guys the 3 keys to every sale. I shared with you guys how you can utilize those keys in order to negotiate. I shared with you guys how those keys are fundamental to you doing better property deals, faster property deals, more valuable property deals, just simply by utilizing those 3 keys. Now, look, let me say this. If you got value from last week's live stream, episode 63, hit the like button on this week's live stream, just so that you send that message on YouTube, so that YouTube can start to push this content to other people who may find this of value as well. Now, the week before that, one of the previous episodes, we spoke about 4 ways to improve your property investment journey. And again, this was a very masterful live stream, because I was very open in that live stream, sharing with you guys that no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're extremely advanced, whether you're someone just starting out on the journey, these were 4 ways that every single person could use. And again, if you were on that live stream and you got value, feel free to smash, massage, hit that like button as well, just to let YouTube know, listen, this is a place where there's a lot of value being shared on a regular basis. You know what? We need to share this with other people. And if you're one of those people who just know how to share this content, just hit the share button and share it otherwise. So what I want to say to you guys, if you're tuning in right now brand new, don't worry, feel free to write in the comments that you're new by writing the word new. If you're someone who's been here before, you're watching this content but you haven't said anything in the comments, say hi in the comments. Okay, it's always good to be hospitable. Just say hi in the comments, let us know that you're tuning in, and we will hopefully be able to welcome you if you're brand new. And if you're not brand new and you're someone who's been here before, we'll hopefully be able to just share with you a great big welcome as usual. Now let's go deeper, because I know you guys came for the content. Let's go deeper. I'm going to speak slightly about the surprise and all of these things from last week as well, just to keep you guys up to date. And look, I've said it before, I'll say it again, guys. If you haven't hit that like button, if you haven't commented, if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. This is YouTube, all right, guys? So all the things are there for you to do anyway. Now, let's look in the comments real quick, see if anything's popping off in the comments quickly. This is my quick look in the comments. Okay, so the comments are slightly a bit dry. It means people aren't really engaging in there. I don't know what's happening, guys. If you haven't said hi, say something in the comments. Like I say, guys, at the start of the show, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for us to populate the comments all the way to at least my sign saying hi. Okay, I want you guys to engage in the comments so I know that I'm here for the right reasons. I don't want to be here sharing content with myself. I want to be sharing content with my community. So guys, you need to keep the engagement up so Samuel ICanWin can stay energized, ready to go, and ready to go for you. Now, let me go into the show disclaimer before we jump into tonight's content for you guys. Now, here's the disclaimer. All information provided and results given are exemplary. Each person's results may vary or differ. Results are based on consistent implementation of strategies, and we advise that you always seek legal and financial advice from a qualified professional. Okay, I'll say that again. We advise that you always, not sometimes, always seek legal and financial advice from a qualified professional. If you're one of those people who are tuning in, maybe you're starting on your property journey and you need some help in order to connect with financial advisors or with legal practitioners, legal advisors, let us know. Okay, let us know and we can connect you with the right people. All the links are in the description, email address and everything is in the description for you guys to connect with us. Now, let's jump straight in. That's what you guys want, right? You want us to jump straight in. I got Mrs. ICanWin in the chat. She says hi all. Let us know, guys. I assume you want us to jump straight in. Okay, like I said, the chat is not popping, so let me ask the question. Do you guys want us to jump in? If you want us to jump in, let me see the words jump in the chat. That's what I need. I need jump in the chat. When I get enough jump ins in the chat, we will be jumping straight into the situation, the scenario, the keys, the principles, the power that I have got prepared for us on tonight's show. So let me know by seeing jump in in the chat, guys. I need to see some jumping in the chat to know that you guys are ready to go. So I'm waiting on you guys. Okay, I'm waiting on you guys. I am waiting on you guys. This is probably the time in the stream where I put some music on or I go to the BRB screen to let you guys know I'm being serious. I'm waiting on you guys. I need to see jump in the chat. I need to see jump in. All right. Let me see some jumping in the chat. Let me see some jumping into the chat. Let's get some music going on. And let's see jump in the chat, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have Mrs. ICanWin rescuing you. You have Mrs. ICanWin rescuing you. Guys, let me see some jumping in the chat. Let me know that you guys are with me on tonight's show and you are ready to go. I would like to see some jumping into the chat, not just from the admin. All right, we're going to be speaking about DMX, his long-term fiance in tonight's show, and we're going to be sharing some real key property principles as per her situation, her scenario, and some things that have transpired recently last week as it pertains to her actual relationship with the rapper, the very famous rapper DMX. So guys, if you guys are ready, let me see the word jump in, let me see the term jump in the chat, and then we will go straight into discussing tonight's show and all of the aspects that you guys, I assume, want to know. You know, what was the keys? What were the keys? What was the number one key about property that was missed? Okay, what's the number one key about property that's actually been missed by Desiree Lindstrom? All right, so I got a lot of jump-ins coming through from Mrs. ICanWin. Mrs. ICanWin is definitely interested in us jumping in. All right, cool. Let's do it for our people. Let's do it for our people. So to get us started in tonight's show, I don't know if anybody doesn't know who he is, but let's start by talking about DMX. Okay, because some people may not know who DMX is. Now, DMX, also known, or DMX, the acronym stands for Dark Man X. Okay, so DMX is a rapper, or was a rapper. He passed away. His government name, his real name is Earl Simmons, and Earl Simmons passed away on the 9th of April 2021. So earlier on this year, just a few months ago. And he basically died at the young age of 50, and he died actually from a heart attack. Okay, so it was a very unexpected death to many people in the community. Okay, because as a rapper, he was a very, very influential rapper. What I'm going to do, just to share some insights, is I'm going to read a few things about DMX just to give you guys some insight as to why it might be important that his long-term fiance actually didn't utilize this powerful property key, which every single person should be utilizing. Okay, you should be utilizing this property key. I should be utilizing this property key. And many times there are the odd keys we may miss. But guys, let me tell you something. We should never put ourselves in the predicament where we're missing keys that we are aware of. Okay, now if you're not aware, that's one thing, but you should always be aware of the keys that are necessary. Now, let's jump in. All right, I'm thinking about a particular product that we created called 101 Property Sourcing Secrets. That is a resource we created. It's an audio resource with over 3 hours of content around over 100 keys that I have learned in my property investing journey. Okay, so the reason I created that resource is exactly because of stuff that I'm going to be talking about on tonight's show, exactly because of what we're talking about right now with regards to Desiree, who is DMX's long-term fiance. So let's go in. All right, so DMX was 50, and I'm going to be taking a lot of the information I'm sharing from a website called wealthygorilla.com. I can put the link in the description as well. So for those of you who want to go and check this out for yourself, you can check all of the links in the description. For those of you who are tuning in on the replay, feel free to let us know in the comments how much value you get from tonight's show. All right, so let's go straight in. So DMX died at the age of 50, young age of 50. He was born December the 18th, 1970. Obviously, his country of origin was the United States, and he was a professional rapper by trade. That was his trade. So let's jump into just some information about DMX to give you guys a good understanding of how prolific he was as an actual musician or as a rapper, and then we're going to go into what this has to do with property and what it has to do with his fiance. So it says DMX is one of the powerhouses of hardcore rap. His early childhood experiences led him to a life plagued with legal issues at an early age. The music he creates is reflective of his upbringing and his faith, and I believe they say that because he also made a gospel album, I believe, or some gospel tracks. Anyway, it goes on to say DMX debuted at #1. Okay, now let me say this to you. It is rare for rappers, especially when they're new to the scene. Okay, I'm not really big into rap music anymore. I was when I was a lot younger, but it's very rare for rappers to debut at #1. Okay, so DMX was able to achieve in his career stuff that many rappers have not been able to achieve, which is very, very important to where we're going. But anyway, let's keep going. It says DMX debuted at #1, which is uncommon in the rap industry, and his music continues to be influential. He's also currently the 5th best selling rap artist in the United States. So this is as of earlier on this year. It goes on to talk about his early life. Earl Simmons was born in Baltimore, Maryland, on December the 18th, 1970. His family relocated to Yonkers, which is in New York, where he grew up. Earl's father left him at a young age, and his mother was abusive. His childhood was chaotic and violent, which led to group homes and surviving on the streets for Earl. In his teen years, Earl had many run-ins with the law and was often violent. Survival of the streets led him to being in and out of prison and to drug and alcohol use at a young age. Salvation came in the form of hip-hop to him, and he started out as a DJ and human beatbox before moving on to rap. So I want you to understand his background so you understand how a lot of the things we're going to be talking about in today's show actually transpired. Anyway, it goes on to say DMX became known in the freestyle rap scene and quickly found himself written up in the Source magazine's unsigned hype column. Now, the Source magazine years ago, probably about 20 years ago, was one of the largest I was going to say property, one of the largest rap magazines in the US. And again, it was also here in the UK. Yeah, I think when I was about 15, 16, a number of years ago, I actually used to read the Source magazine. But anyway, let's keep going. It says in 1992, Rough House, a subsidiary of Columbia, signed him to a deal, and his debut single Born Loser was released. This seemed like a promising start for DMX, but his single was under promoted by the company and he was soon released from his contract. What I'm going to do, let me make this even nicer for you guys. Let me get this on the screen so you guys can exactly follow through with me and see exactly all of the information that I'm sharing as well. I think that's a bit nicer for you guys. Let me know if that's nicer, guys. Let me see the word nice in the chat if that's nicer for you guys. All right. Now, as that's loading up, we're going to be letting you guys know. Okay, this is going to load up fairly quickly, so I won't even need to do that. Okay, cool. That's perfect. So let me get you guys on so you can see exactly what we're working with here. All right, cool. So where did we get to? I think it was here. Awesome. All right. So basically DMX became in 1992. So it basically says in 1992, Rough House, a subsidiary of Columbia, signed him to a deal and his debut single Born Loser was released. This seemed like a promising start for DMX, but his single was under promoted by the company and he was soon released from his contract. In 1994, he released a second single, Make a Move, but he was soon after arrested for drug possession. 3 years later, in 1997, DMX signed on with Def Jam and made several guest appearances with artists such as LL Cool J and Mace. Now, I'm sure everybody who's tuned in, no matter what age you are, you probably know who LL Cool J is. But again, these are the kind of artists that DMX started his career actually working with. It says a third single, Get At Him Dog, was released the following year. This single became a gold-selling smash hit on the rap and dance charts, and DMX became a known name. So what I want to share with you, the reason I wanted to read that context about DMX's career, DMX's life, is because I want you to understand that this is a gentleman who's been making money from rap music since 1997, okay? Since not probably before, but seriously, since 1997, he became really well known. Again, like I said, he's debuted at #1. This is a guy who's done some amazing things as it pertains to wealth and music in that regard, okay? But it goes on to say his debut was released in May 1998 and it debuted at #1 on the pop charts. DMX has since sold over 74 million albums, and again, you may not remember, I said a moment ago, he's apparently the 5th highest selling rapper in the US. I want you to understand what kind of wealth is supposed to be associated with this, okay? And this is all gonna come together in a little while as I speak about his fiance and all of this stuff. It says 17.1 million in the United States alone. He has released 7 movies, including Never Die Alone. Again, one of my favorite movies when I was growing up, not really anymore, but when I was growing up, one of my favorite movies was actually a film called Belly, which again, DMX actually starred in that film. He was one of the main stars in that film. So again, that was a film that he was in, but he was in several different movies as well. He was in movies with artists such as Aaliyah, which many people know, etc. It goes on to say, in addition to rapping and acting, DMX also dabbles in record producing. In 2000, he partnered with Def Jam and launched Bloodline Records. This label focuses on the new generation of R&B and hip-hop artists. Currently, the label has a handful of artists signed, including Nyla and Word One. As of 2021, here's the point, one of the big points I want to share with you guys. As of 2021, okay, you can read it. You can read it if you don't want me to read it. I'll say it one more time. As of 2021, okay, let me know what's the situation as of 2021. DMX died earlier this year in April. Okay, 9th of April 2021 from a heart attack at the young age of 50. This was a man who was generating wealth through means of his rap career, okay, from as far back as 1998, 1997, okay? And it says here, as of 2021, this year, DMX's net worth is calculated at less than $1 million. All right? I don't know how you see that, okay? I don't know what you take from that, okay? I don't know what resonates with you when I read that to you, okay? These are things I want to really kind of like just hammer home before I even go into what DMX's fiance has to do with this and all of the other aspects of it, okay? Thank you guys for your comments. I got Mandy who says jump in. I got also Ikhinmwin who says jump in. I got Mrs. ICanWin who says jump in. You see, guys, just to jump in, let's do it. Just to jump in. This is a man who from 1997 was making hit records, who was making debut records. DMX has been making wealth, building his wealth from music, from rap, from the industry since 1997. But as of 2021, okay, it states here that his net worth is calculated at less than $1 million. Okay. So my question to you, first and foremost, if you're watching this on a replay and if you're with me here live, my question is, how does that happen? I want you to let me know in the chat. How does that actually happen? How does that happen? All right. How does that happen? So I've shared with you about DMX. I've shared with you his situation. I'm looking to see in the comments what you guys tell me about how that happens. How does a man who's making wealth, because this might be a story of someone you know, someone who's making money from property, for example. How does someone who's making exorbitant amounts of wealth from the year 1997 all the way until effectively, some can argue up until when he died in April of this year, but how does a man make wealth, generate wealth, create wealth, okay, debuts at #1 in the pop charts, not the rap charts, the pop charts? I want you to understand that. That's the pop charts. That means his music actually transcended the industry, the genre that he was making music in. I'm interested. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on replay, let me know in the comments below. How does someone who generates multi-millions of pounds, potentially billions of pounds, okay, maybe not for himself, but for the industry, that's going to be a billion more, probably he's going to probably be touching in billions of dollars of wealth he has created, okay, for other people, for distributors, for producers, for etc, etc, etc. If you compile all of the wealth generated from DMX's career, I am sure you're going to be touching into the billions bracket. The point is, how does a man create billions of dollars of value but dies at the age of 50, young, I believe that's young, dies at the age of 50 and his net worth is less than $1 million? Okay, that's the first question I want to throw out to you. Now, we spoke a little bit about who DMX was, for those of you who don't know who he was. We've also spoke a little bit about his wealth, okay, and where his wealth's at the time of his decease, all right? Now what I want to do is go into what we actually wanted to discuss on this show now that you have the context, okay? I wanted to share with you guys the #1 key as it pertains to property investing, which DMX's long-term fiance failed to use. Okay, now let me start breaking a few things down for you guys to understand what's going on. Okay, I'm going to read the article to you, very short, 1-paragraph article. All right, it says, a judge denies. I hope you're taking notes. If you're one of those people that are rocking with me, you know what we do here. Okay, you know what we do here. All right, I've shown you a little bit about who DMX was if you didn't know. I've also now shared with you a little bit about DMX's wealth if you didn't know. Now what I want to do is speak to you a little bit about what DMX's long-term fiance has to do with this and how this all relates to you and your property business and how you are supposed to be moving further faster in your property business. Now, guys, if you're one of those people who've tuned in today because you got your property questions, throw your property questions in the chat as we do usually. We're going to come on to those property questions. But really, what I'd love to do in today's show is I'd love to take your questions on this specific issue. Okay? I love to take your questions on the key I'm going to be speaking about in just a moment. And not only the key I'm going to be speaking about, which Desiree failed to use, but also on your own thoughts about this predicament. So again, like I said, if you haven't hit that like button. If you haven't hit subscribe, you know what to do. And guys, let me know in the chat, what is your thoughts on how a man who generates wealth from 1997, hit records, etc., in 2021 is estimated to have less than $1 million in wealth. Okay, let me know. I'm very interested. All right. Now let's go deeper. I'm going to read this short article to you guys. I want you guys to understand the depth as I break this article down. But this is the reality of what we're talking about, guys. All right. So this came out on the 24th of June. All right. So I want to give you guys that insight. It says a judge denies DMX's long-term fiance Desiree Lindstrom. It goes on to say a common law wife filing as his family petitions his estate. Okay. It goes on to say she will get nothing after standing beside him for 8+ years. Let me even go deeper because some people don't know this. Desiree Lindstrom was not only standing beside DMX or Earl Simmons for 8 years. She was not only Earl Simmons' partner for 8 years. Okay. She was not only his fiance. Okay. She was also the mother, I believe, of his 15th child. Okay. So Earl Simmons had 15 children and his 15th child was born via Desiree Lindstrom. Okay. And this is why, for me, this is kind of really powerful just to understand this whole context before we go into the one key that was actually missing. Okay, so I'll wrap up on this article. It basically says a judge denies DMX's fiance Desiree Lindstrom common law wife filing as his family petitions to get a hold of his estate. She will get nothing after standing beside him 8+ years. DMX did not have a will, and his next and final album will apparently also be coming out soon. So what that means is not only did he have whatever amount of wealth, but potentially he may even generate more wealth even since he's died. Okay. This is crazy. He may even generate more wealth since he's passing because of the fact that an additional album is going to be dropping. Okay. So Mrs. ICanWin, I see Mrs. ICanWin's comment in the chat. Mrs. ICanWin says, what? She doesn't understand that. How? Mrs. ICanWin, you need to elaborate for us in the chat. What don't you understand? What's your question? How about? Articulate your question clearly for us so we can elaborate for those who are viewing as well. So we can go really into this. Okay. You see, guys, this is all interesting, but we haven't even come into the key yet. All right. That was clearly missed by Desiree Lindstrom, which I've shared with you guys, is actually the number one key when you're investing in property. All right. And if you're ready for the key, what I want to see is I want to see the word ready in the chat. I'm actually going to bring the chat on the screen. I want to see the word ready in the chat. I need a whole bunch of readies in the chat if you guys want me to share with you the number one key. All right. Let me see the word ready in the chat. Let me see the readies in the chat, so I know you guys are ready to understand the number one key that was not actually utilized by DMX's long-term fiance and partner and mother of one of his children. Let me see the word ready in the chat. Okay, if I get enough readies, I won't put you guys on the be right back screen. If I get enough readies, I will go straight into what that key is. Guys, let me know if you're ready. Okay, let me know if you're ready. Let me see the word ready in the chat. Now, guys, it's all fair and well understanding DMX's situation, okay? But what we have to understand is this scenario happens time and time again. It's just in most people's cases, the people it happens to may not be celebrities, or they may not be, so they may not have generated enough wealth for everybody to know about their situation or scenario. But this happens, okay? This does happen. And this is why the number one key in property investing needs to be shared, needs to be understood, and people need to take it seriously. People need to start using it even more. All right. So guys, what I want you to do in the chat is let me know that you're ready. If I see enough readies in the chat, I will jump straight in. I believe Mrs. ICanWin's what? And I don't understand that how is relating to how Earl Simmons, who creates billions of dollars in wealth, ends up with less than $1 million in net worth. I think that's what Mrs. ICanWin is talking about. If it is, Mrs. ICanWin, let us know. If it's not, then Mrs. ICanWin, please elaborate in your question so we can get into your question a bit more. And guys, again, those of you who've got your property questions, throw your property questions into the chat. Throw your property questions into the chat so we can jump into those property questions. I see the comments coming in. All right, we got Mr. Stewart in the chat who says, what's good, people? Welcome, Mr. Stewart, to the stream. Let us know, Mr. Stewart, are you new to the stream? If you are new, just write the word new in the chat, and myself and the rest of the guys in the live chat will be happy to welcome you to the stream. It's always great to have new people on the stream. Oh, awesome. Mr. Stewart says, I've been here, I've been ready. Okay. I get it. That's the ready I asked for. All right, guys, let me get a few more readies, guys. Should I put the music back on, guys? Should we go back to the BRB screen, or are we ready to go? Mr. ICanWin likes to share value with the community and not just with himself. All right, Mrs. ICanWin says, welcome, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart says, should have had a will. Yes, that's part of it. He should have had a will. That's part of it. All right. There's so much more to it, but that is definitely part of it. All right. So I got Mr. Stewart in the chat who says, I've been ready. I got Mrs. ICanWin who says ready. I got Mr. Stewart who says should have had a will. Guys, let me know in the chat if you're ready. Okay. Mr. Stewart and Mrs. ICanWin hopefully are not the only people who are ready to go. Let me know, guys, if you are ready. Mr. Stewart makes a very good comment below, but I can guarantee you that comment that you've made, Mr. Stewart, still doesn't negate the one key that Desiree did not use, which we're going to be speaking about on tonight's show, which every single person who's doing property needs to understand. And not only understand, if you're someone who's new to property and you understand this key I'm going to be speaking about on tonight's show, you are going to save yourself years, okay, of heartache and headache as you go forward in your property journey. Okay, I hope I'm going to say this pronounce this correctly. We've got Tishdildzi Tharaga. I don't know if I butchered that name. If I butchered that name, I do apologize. If it's possible, can I call you TT? TT says they're ready. If that's okay, just let me see the word okay or the statement okay in the chat. Nilis Rico creeps in with some powerful comments. Nilis Rico, great to have you back on the stream. Welcome to the show. TT, welcome to the show. Also, TT, let us know if you're new. If you're new to the stream, let us see the word new in the chat if you are new. All right, so I got also Ikhinmwin who says we are ready. Okay, guys, I need some more readies, guys. Those of you who have just jumped in, let me know that you're ready. Nilis Rico, let me know if you're ready. Okay, I need to see some more readies if you guys are ready. I got my man Rex Banner who was in the chat earlier. Rex, let me know if you're ready. Guys, are you ready? I know Mandy was in the stream earlier on. Mandy, are you ready? If you guys are ready, I will share with you guys the number one key which Desiree did not even consider, which we need to be considering every single day as we go out there investing in property, in order to make sure that our returns are locked in order to make sure that we win every single time. All right. Nilis Rico says in the chat, it's slightly different, the laws in America versus the laws in the UK, but a lot of common sense is missing at Mr. Stewart. And I think that's a very good comment to make. And I think it's something we do need to think about. So my man Nilis Rico says in the chat, ready. So I feel like people are getting ready right now. I feel like the readies are all up in the chat right now. I'm feeling the readies coming through on the chat. All right, so let's jump into this. You see, what many people don't realize, okay, one of the most fundamental property keys, which, as I mentioned, I believe Desiree Lindstorm, failed to utilize. It's a property key, okay? It can be used in other fields, but it's a property key nonetheless. One of the most fundamental property keys that many people fail to realize is if it's not signed, it doesn't mean anything. All right? I want you guys to start to think about that, because there are transactions, property transactions that you have tried to go into before, and you've spent months, 3 days, 4 days, 3 months, 4 months, 3 years, 4 years in some cases, depending on how experienced you are in property. If you're as experienced as myself, then definitely there's been deals that you've spent more than a year on. So there's deals that you will go out there and try to acquire, property deals you will try to grab hold of. And unfortunately, if you do not understand this number one property key, the number one fundamental property key that, as I've shared, DMX's long-term fiance of 8 years, as well as the mother of his 15th child, failed to realize, if it's not signed, it doesn't mean a thing. You see, many people in their property journeys fail to realize that it's the contractual agreement, the securing of a deal, that changes everything. Okay, it's not the finding of a deal. Okay, and we teach people how to find great deals all the time. But let me tell you something. When we created our online program and we started teaching people how to find great deals, we realized we had to have a module on what we call maturing, which is the 4th M in the 4M formula of our sourcing blueprint. Now, those of you who have gone out and got the free sourcing blueprint, which we told you about last week on episode 63, you should know, if you've read it, you should know exactly what I'm talking about. Because in the free ebook that I send to you guys, absolutely free, okay, where I break down the sourcing blueprint, what I do in there is I break down the 4 key areas that you need to focus on to find and secure great property deals. The first one is marketing. The second one is managing. The third one is measuring. And the fourth one is maturing. You see, when you go out there and say, I want to be a property investor, or I'm going to start investing in property, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is not understanding that until you have matured the deal, until you've got into that 4th key core aspect, until you have matured the deal, it's not your deal. I've got coaching clients. I've got students. Okay. I've got so many people I've worked with, even contemporaries that I've worked with in this property journey over the 2 rough decades I've been investing and working on property projects. And I can guarantee you one thing, guys. If the deal's not signed, it's not yours. You see, I've met people, especially because I have a sourcing background, a background of sourcing property deals and selling them to other investors. I've met people who have sourced deals, found deals, secured those deals in their mind, presented those deals to other investors, and other investors have gone behind their back and taken those deals away. All right. And what many people don't understand is that is the biggest difference when you're truly investing in property. The biggest difference when you're truly investing in property comes when you are able to get to a position where you can actually have the deal signed, where the deal is actually secured. You see, I like Nilos Rico's comment that just came in. He said she was living on hope. You know the funniest thing, Nilos Rico, let's take this out of the context of just the DMX and his fiance and the 8 years and the baby and all of that situation and whatever she would have done, which I assume would have been a lot of things to support him, especially if this was a man who at the age of 50 died from a heart attack. Because when a man dies, in my opinion, at the age of 50 from a heart attack, most likely he's probably had some kind of health issues prior to that. Sometimes it might be a false alarm, a prior heart attack, etc. Okay. But the reason I bring this up is because if you take it out of the context they're dealing with and all of the hard work, all of the sweat, blood and tears that she would have invested into that relationship, only to hear exactly what I read to you guys a moment ago, that potentially she will not be able to partake and participate in the wealth that this man left behind, even though, like I shared with you guys, it's potentially estimated at less than $1 million. She may now miss out on that because of the one key principle in property, which is if it's not signed, it's not yours. You see, there are people out there who are saying, look, I'm going to invest in property, but they don't understand until something is signed, it's not theirs. And this is what happens. They do exactly what Nilis Rico has just thrown into the comments right there. They live on hope. They say, you know what? I'm going to get this deal. I've got this deal. This is the deal. My next deal is this. You know what? I've been speaking to the guy. I've been speaking to the vendor. The vendor's interested. I've got the deal. I know I'm going to make it happen. It's going to be for me. And then you know what happens? Someone else comes in. One of my coaching clients, actually, he's going through this right now. He's messaged me over the last couple of days. It's quite interesting. He put an offer in for a property. Okay, let's make some fictional numbers just to help you guys. But let's say he offered on a property 150k. Straight after putting in the offer on the property of 150k, he was then told by the estate agent. And again, guys, for those of you who haven't seen the video on our channel, what your estate agent won't tell you, go watch that video. Because when you watch that video, you'll understand exactly the rhetoric that takes place and why I coach people around a lot of these things. So let's say that the coachee says to the agent, I'll offer 150 on this property. Then the next thing that happens, okay, I want you guys to understand this. The agent comes back and says to the coachee, 150 is too low, but if you offer 152,500, I'm certain my client will accept it. Okay. And what basically happened is the coaching client went back and said, okay, I will offer 152,500. Okay. I will offer 152,500. And let me tell you what happened. Guys, I'm telling you, if you don't have these experiences in property yet, I'm telling you, you don't want to get into property blind. You don't want to get into property not knowing what you're doing. You do not want to get into property investing just gambling. Let me use that word because I think that's the word you guys will be familiar with to understand what I'm talking about. You don't want to be gambling. Okay. So offer went in, let's say it was 150k. Agent came back. Let's say the agent says you need to offer 152,500. This is the response. I'm going to read the response to you. Okay, just so you guys can see this. Hi, I have taken a cash offer now on the property. Even at the number we said, which in this example is 152,500, it would not be acceptable now. Many thanks. You see, this is a message I got on, when did this come through? 30th of June, which is 2-3 days ago. And this is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I want you guys to understand coaching clients, investors, true investors, real investors, students, guys, it doesn't matter who you are. Okay. The number one key in property is the number one key in property. If you haven't matured the deal, if you haven't got it signed, it is not yours. And many people miss this fact. So what they do is they go out there, they speak to estate agents. They say to the estate agent, oh, listen, I would like to one day if we, and the estate agent sometimes, okay, and this is why I do advocate heavily that people don't only rely on their work with estate agents. And sometimes the estate agent can say to you, yeah, you know what, that can work. We can do that. We can make that happen. But what people forget a lot of the time is it's not secured until it's signed. You need to sign that deal. You need to lock that deal in. You see, if Desiree Lindstorm locked in DMX through means of marriage, for example, his family wouldn't be able, they wouldn't be in a position to file and basically lock her out of the inheritance or lock her out of the money that potentially could be going towards her. And these are the kind of things that happen in property every single day, guys. I want you to understand that these kind of things are not foreign instances. These are instances that can take place on a regular basis when people do not know what they're doing, okay, as it pertains, I'd say, as it pertains to property, okay? You see, the judge denies his fiance, okay? So Desiree, I apologize. Like, you know, I like I said, when I was very, very young, I used to listen to DMX when I was into rap music. And to think that he's or a member of his family, i.e. specifically his long-term fiance of 8 years, or his partner of 8 years and long-term fiance, to think that his youngest child, his 15th child, okay, may potentially not be able to reap any of the rewards from this man's labor and this man's work, it's very tragic, in my opinion. But sometimes we need to look at these tragedies in order to really understand where people are messing up on a day-to-day basis in their property journey. You see, in your property journey, you don't have to be that person who's trying to work out, is this deal mine or is it not mine? The deal's not yours until it's signed. And this is one of the reasons why there's a lot of value from being here, being in these environments, saying to yourself, you know what, I'm jumping on the live show today. I'm going to see exactly what Samuel ICanWin's breaking down today, because I know that I'm going to get value, because you start to realize certain things. You start to realize, hold on a minute, there's actually more to this than people tell you. And I say this all the time, guys, and I really stand by this. Property investing is not taught in schools. So by virtue of the fact that they don't teach this in school, what you need to understand very quickly about property investing is, in order to succeed as a property investor, it's not about doing what most people will tell you to do. A lot of the time, it's about doing something slightly different, like hitting the like button. The point I want to make to you guys, okay, is that the true key here that I wanted to share with you guys on today's show, episode 64, is the deal's not yours until it's signed. If it's not signed, it's not yours. And we see this very clearly from this occurrence of last week, where a judge says to Desiree Lindstorm, you cannot actually file to be a common law wife to this man that you were with for 8 years and had a child for, whilst the rest of his family or other members of his family are filing for his less than $1 million net worth, or less than $1 million proceeds from his life as it pertains to finances. Now, obviously, maybe it's a great thing that he has another album that potentially may be coming out. Maybe that's going to be helpful, because maybe the revenue from that may be shared among other people in the family. But the reality to remember for all of us on our property journey is, if it's not ours, if it's not signed, it's not ours. Okay? There are deals out there that you will have, and there are deals out there that you will invest time in and maybe not have. What is yours? Okay, so that's a good question I want to go into when you don't get a deal. Okay, so one of the things that is yours when you don't get a deal is the learning experience. Okay, the learning experience. Another thing that might be yours when you go into a deal and don't get the deal is actually the case study, the story. Okay, because sometimes we will learn, as I mentioned, learning experience from going for a deal and realize what not to do next time. Okay. One of the properties I put an offer in for this year, at the time I was actually working with an estate agent on that property project, we did not end up getting that offer accepted. Okay. We were told, maybe if you go to this number, but the reality was the vendor wanted what the vendor wanted. And someone else came and offered the vendor exactly what the vendor wanted. Now, in those cases, do I walk away and say, oh, I didn't get the deal, I'm not happy? No. You know what I do? I ask myself, what did I learn from that transaction? Because there's always something to take away. Many people will say, well, if you don't take away the property, you've taken away nothing. No, listen, this is the Impact Investing Show where you get creative property investing on demand. What you got to understand is there's value even in potential failure. So you may have failed to buy the property, but you have hopefully not failed to learn from the property transaction. And this is what I want to share with you guys, because I want the guys, the people, the gentlemen, the ladies that participate with us on our live show to understand how they can use the keys we talk about here on this show in order to move further faster in their property investing journey. And the way you can do that is quite simply by saying to yourself, what did I learn from this? What did I take away from this? What actually went on here, which I can use moving forward in my property investing journey? Because that's where all the difference is actually made. And I want you guys to be encouraged on your property investing journey to know that even if you make the same mistake that Desiree Landstorm has made, and you don't get the deal signed, you don't get the property opportunity signed and locked in and ready to go, as we usually say on the Impact Show, even if you don't end up in that predicament, start hitting the other layers. First and foremost, what did I learn? What did I take away? What have I obtained, which I wouldn't have obtained if I wasn't engaging in this property project? The second thing is, from what I've learned, how can I use that moving forward into my next opportunity? Okay, because many times people go through scenarios and they don't employ any metacognition. Those of you who are with me on the 21 days of your property investing success in January of 2021 will know exactly what I'm talking about. People don't employ any metacognition, and a lot of the time you can engage at a higher level in your property journey by simply taking a step back and saying, what did I learn? Take the pen, take the paper, take the stylus, write it down. What was your key learning from that situation? What did you grasp from that situation? What was it that spoke to you about that situation that was going to allow you to move forward in the next property situation? Because many people they don't move forward in the next situation. You know why? Because they just aren't interested in it. They're so wrapped up in the deal, and then they don't get the deal signed. They don't get it matured, the fourth piece of the sourcing blueprint. And because they don't get it secured, they don't get it signed, they're left wanting. Guys, I wanted to share this with you today because I wanted you guys to be equipped. I didn't want you guys to be the people who are out here in this property community looking for opportunities, spending time, investing time on deals. The deal doesn't turn out, and then you turn around and say, oh, this property thing doesn't work, or oh, this particular strategy doesn't work, or oh, why isn't it working for me? Listen, sometimes, guys, it's not working for you because you're not closing the deal. And this is why we teach what we teach on our online program, because we want to help people understand that closing the deal is not as hard as you think it is. Finding the deal is not as hard as you think it is. And sometimes we've just got to take a step back and ask ourselves, from each predicament, from each scenario, what did I actually learn? What was the learning point there? What was the key there? What was the key lesson there that I can use to actually move forward in my property journey? Guys, if you're getting value, let me see the word value in the chat. If you are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat. I got my man Yogesh Patel who jumps in the chat, who says, hi, Yogesh, great to have you on the stream. Hi to you as well. We've been talking about some real things from some real context. So I hope you, I'm not sure if you were tuned in earlier, but if you wasn't, feel free to go back and watch the replay and let us know how you're getting value from the comments that you leave on the video. Now, guys, for those of you who haven't been introduced to the sourcing blueprint, I want to introduce you to the sourcing blueprint right now. Okay. And the reason why is because I don't want you to fail to do one of the keys that are necessary for you to start moving more successfully in your property investing journey. Now, the way you can engage with this resource is by going to this link right here, which is sourcingblueprint.com, www.sourcingblueprint.com. It is there at that link that you'll be able to go and get a free copy, okay, of the sourcing blueprint, which is our ebook, which breaks down exactly how you can move further faster in your property investing journey by simply starting to understand how property sourcing all works. Now, let me share this with you. Property sourcing isn't what most people think. Most people think property sourcing is the activity of finding properties and selling it to someone else. Listen, you may be the someone else. So even if you're just investing in property for yourself, it is of extreme and immense value to understand how to source, how to find great property deals. And I'm telling you that this specific ebook that I created is a very simple way for you to understand that process. It's not complicated. It's simple. Okay. There are 4 key areas which we break down in this ebook right here. Those key areas, as mentioned before, are marketing, managing, measuring, and maturing. And as long as you're doing those 4 things, you put yourself in the best position in order for you to actually move forward in your property investing journey. So take me up on the offer, jump onto the link, sourcingblueprint.com. Admin probably thrown that in the chat now. You can use that link, click on that link, and that's going to help you to be able to go and understand exactly how you can start to find deals, but not only find deals, how you can also secure those deals for yourself. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm going to jump into the chat and start to take questions for tonight's show. Guys, what are your property questions? What are your questions about the context that we just discussed? What are your questions about Desiree Landstrom, how that relates to property? What are your questions, guys? And as I've said already, if you haven't hit that like button. Let YouTube know that you're getting value. If you are getting value, write the word value in the chat. Let me know that you're getting value. And I'm going to jump into the chat. Hopefully I'll catch up with where you guys are at and see if there's any questions in the chat whatsoever. And before I do that, guys, let me just say a great big thank you to all of you guys who have let me know how you feel we can improve this stream. Okay, some of what we're doing in today's stream is exactly based on what you guys have said to us, the feedback you guys have given us. We appreciate it, and it's been extremely helpful for us. So a great big thank you to all of you guys who have helped us to improve the stream by giving us advice, giving us insights. You know, Samuel, spend more time showing the chat or etc., or you know, all of the comments that have come through, we appreciate them. Whether they're comments we agree with or disagree with, we're always open to criticism and also help and support. So thank you guys, we really appreciate you. Also, for those of you who have let us know when you're winning, again, I'm always speaking about this show in, show out. And the reason I'm always speaking about this on all of our shows is because it's really, really warming to my heart when someone who's been watching the show, someone who I've never met before, someone who I've, you know, only connected with through means of the live stream, reaches out to us via email or reaches out to us, you know, via some kind of medium, you know, our Instagram, our Facebook, etc., our LinkedIn, and says, Samuel, thank you ever so much. You know, I did what you said and I've got this result, or I took on board the value that you shared and he's got me this result. Guys, results are the name of the game. Okay, I'll say it again because some people don't believe this. Some people just want to go on courses and spend money and then at the end of the course find another course. Listen, results are the name of the game. Okay, and the people that we've worked with over the years, those people have got some great results, and we want to keep producing great results for those people. So I'll say it again, results are the name of the game. So because results are the name of the game, if you're not producing results, you need to change what you're doing. It is Einstein who's quoted to have said that doing the same thing continuously and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And many people do that. Many people don't level up. They don't move to the next degree in their life because they continually do the same thing and expect different results. So go get the Sourcing Blueprint ebook. It's there, guys, for you. It's links in the description. Absolutely free. Go use that ebook to help you move further, faster in your property investing journey. All right, so I'm looking in the chat, guys. If you've got property questions, what are your property questions? What are your property challenges? Banner is on the screen right now. What property challenges are you facing? Let us know, guys, so we can help you to overcome those property challenges and help you move further, faster as it pertains to your property investing journey. And guys, look, if you got specific comments or questions about what we shared a moment ago, let me know, guys. I'm very interested in what you guys think. What do you guys think about getting it signed? The deal's not yours until it's signed. What do you guys think? Let me jump into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Got Mrs. ICanWin who said she was looking forward to hearing about this. Glad. Mrs. ICanWin, let us know what your thoughts have been as a result of what we shared. Okay. Excellent, excellent. I got jump all the way in, jump in. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Finally letting me know that you are ready to go. Okay. Mr. Stewart said, I've been ready. Love that comment earlier on. All right. Mrs. ICanWin says ready. I've got a lot of welcome comments. Thank you guys for making everybody welcome. Mr. Stewart's comment about DMX should have had the wheel. Very interesting comment. I agree. And I guess obviously this is also a kind of wake up call to maybe some of us on the stream. If we don't have wills, why don't we have a will? Okay, why don't we have things in place? Listen, you want to build wealth, you want to use property as a vehicle to change your financial future, to change your generation's future, to change the generational wealth gap. Guys, how are you going to do that if you don't have a mechanism to pass it on? Okay, and wills are just one of those. There's others as well, guys. For those of you who want to write this down, life insurance policies are one of the ways you can do that. Again, if you want to connect with us to find out people who can help you do life insurance assessments, let us know. Wills, definitely, as mentioned by Mr. Stewart and other people, is one of the ways, one of the definite ways you can utilize to help you transfer your wealth. Another thing is trusts. Okay, trust, and also you should have a lasting power of attorney in place as well. That's just a few things that you should be thinking about if you really want to pass on your wealth to the next generation. Again, just a quick little list there, guys. Not saying that it's financial advice, but go find someone who can help you with that. And like I've said, if you're looking for someone to help you with those things, let us know. Reach out to us and we can connect you with one of our contacts who could potentially help you. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I've got TT in the chat who said ready. Okay, so Mrs. ICanWin says, yep, that's right, Samuel. So I believe she was talking about when I mentioned okay, so Mrs. ICanWin put the question in what she doesn't understand that how. And then I asked, is she talking about the fact that although DMX made potentially billions of dollars in revenue, how he ends up with a net worth of less than $1 million? Well, look, that's a typical thing that happens to many I'll use the term stars because they are gifted people, but many stars across the globe, predominantly in the US, we see it more just because they have a larger landmass of most first world nations, or most first world nations as I call them. But generally what tends to happen is in places like the US, you have a lot of wealthy, rich people, but a lot of these people don't have any true training around financial management, around money management, around what to do with their money, etc., etc. So as a result, many of them don't know how to invest, and sometimes many of them are duped into bad investments. Then side by side with that, you also have habits. So for example, when we read earlier from the Wealthy Gorilla website about DMX's life, what did we read? We read, well, he was dealing with drug and alcohol abuse from a very young age. Again, does that mean it continued to his older age? I don't know. Is that going to be the foundational cause for maybe his death? I don't know. Again, a lot of these things we may not know unless we know the person personally. But nonetheless, regardless of that, it's very, very important to say and to understand that this is the kind of situation and circumstance that many people find themselves in. There are so many people that when they pass away, what they have in terms of their net worth would shock or surprise you compared to what was expected in regards to the amount of value and wealth that they actually generated in their community and or society. And this is one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate for giving. I'm a big advocate for philanthropy. I'm a big advocate for helping other organizations. It's just very simple. Well, the reason I'm a big advocate of that is because you don't take any of this stuff with you when you go. Like, where does it go? It doesn't go with you. When people die, your money, your jewels, your wealth, your cars, your homes, they don't go with you. So again, if you've got a long-term view, you should utilize your time on this earth in order to manifest your long-term view through your short-term actions. And that's something I try to do a lot of. And guys, I want to, encourage you guys to do the same thing in your lives. So thank you, Mrs. ICanWin, for your comment. We got all these comments saying ready. We are ready. Love that. Oh my gosh, Nilis Rico, I see it. Ready, sorted. I like that one. Just like the crisp. All right, Nilis Rico says facts. She was living on hope. Yep, totally said that in a comment a moment ago. Totally agree with that. What she needs to do is really think to herself, why should I wait? Why should I wait? Why should I wait to be married? I've given you a child. There should be a reason that I'm not waiting. Okay, that should be enough reason, if not more. But again, nonetheless, everybody's relationship is different. There may be people who are tuning into this stream right now, or people that are watching this on a replay who aren't married. Okay, and not only are they not married, they're with somebody. They've been with someone for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, and maybe they just don't believe in marriage. That's cool. But bear in mind that regardless of whether, again, Mr. Stewart mentioned this, regardless of whether it's in the UK or the US, just by virtue of not being married, there are certain things that potentially you may lose out on. Now, the reason I'm saying this is, again, not because I want to advocate marriage, and I do advocate marriage. I'm a big supporter of marriage, but when it's done the right way, I have to add that. But the reason I bring this up is because I want people to understand that this situation that happened with Desiree Lindstorm happened because a judge declared a verdict. Okay, because a lot of the time people think, oh, just because she wasn't married, she wasn't. No. A judge declared a verdict. Okay, I want you to understand that, because people forget that sometimes. And this is why the key that I shared with you, the number one key when it comes to property investing as it pertains to the situation we're talking about, is so important. Because in this scenario, it was a judge who said, no, she's not getting that. No, she's not going to have access to that. No, it's not going to be for her. Okay, and this is stuff we've got to think about, guys. Sometimes people don't think about these things. Sometimes people just think, oh, that only happens to everyone else. It never happens to you. Okay, so this is why this stuff is so important. All right, I'll read it again for those of you who may have missed it. Okay, this was one of the concluding articles in terms of Desiree Lindstorm's situation. It says a judge denies, this was released on the 24th of June 2021. A judge denies Dmx's fiance, Desiree Lindstorm, common law wife, filing as his family petitions to get a hold of his estate. She will get nothing after standing beside him 8+ years and also having a child for him. His 15th child was born through her. It goes on to say Dmx did not have a will and his next and final album will be coming out soon. Okay, so in that little soundbite, we can see very clearly that she didn't get it signed, and it just comes back to the key. You need to sign the deal. The deal's not yours if it's not signed. I got Mandy in the chat who says ready. I got Yogesh who says hi. I got also Ikhinmwin who says fantastic session. And I got Yogesh who's got a question in here. So Yogesh says, how do we connect with wills experts for a contact, please? Thanks. Okay, so Yogesh, what you can do, email us, info@impactproperties.co.uk. Email address is in the description. I know you've emailed us before, Yogesh, so again, you should have that already in your Rolodex, in your diary, etc. But just email us. Okay, email us, let us know that you're looking for someone to help you write a will, and we connect you with the people that we would recommend in that regard. So guys, look, I mentioned this earlier, I'm going to say it again, a great big thank you to all of you guys who've been supporting us on our channel in all the various ways. I want to give a big shout out to those people who have hit subscribe. Our channel is growing day by day, and I really appreciate that, guys. It's you guys that make that happen. All of you guys who hit like when I ask and when I don't ask. I know I've got a whole group of people on our stream who just hit that like button the moment they come on, because they know they're going to get value. But equally, I know I've got a whole group of people who, when they hear Samuel say, guys, hit the like button, they hit that like button. So a great big thank you. I share a lot of appreciation for all of you guys who have done that and who do that. I really do appreciate it, because it allows YouTube to show other people this content and say to other people, listen, you need to be watching this, you need to be listening to this, because this guy is kind of right up your street. So guys, again, a great big thank you to that. Also, I want to say a great big shout out to those people who have donated to our channel. We got a lot of people who donate into our channel through means of financial donations and also through means of our Amazon wish list. For both of those situations and reasons, I want to say a great big thank you to you guys. Connection, or the link, is on the screen right now. Join to support the studio build. We are currently, for those of you who are brand new who don't know, we're currently in the process of building a purpose-built content creation studio so we can get out of my house office, which is where I stream from. So right now, guys, I'm streaming from my house office, and it looks like the lights are purple, which is my favorite color, but they're actually blue right now. But yeah, we currently stream from my home office, and what we want to do is we want to shift into our purpose-built content creation studio, which we've been working on from earlier on this year, which will be completed very soon. So guys, I just want to say a great big thank you to all of you guys who have used this link right here to grab something on the Amazon wish list and get it sent over to the content creation studio. All right, I've shared with you guys the key resource. Let me know, guys, if you got any questions besides Yogesh's questions. Do you have any questions that you want to throw in the chat? If not, I'm going to jump straight into some announcements which are going to be helpful for you guys. I mentioned earlier that we were going to give you guys 14 days of free content from the 1st of July up until the 14th of July. And we asked you guys to do two things. One, hit like on the video of episode 63, which was last week's video. And the second thing we asked you to do was comment what time in the day you would ideally want us to stream those 14 days of free value, helping you understand how you can find great property deals. Unfortunately, we did not hit 14 likes on the video, and we definitely didn't hit 14 comments on the video. So unfortunately, we will not be giving you the 14 days of free value. So I do apologize. Now, I'm going to share with you guys one of the reasons why we actually wanted to give you the 14 days of free value. You guys might think Samuel just loves giving free things away. No, it's not actually that. It's actually because my team have a plan in our annual diary of this year, 2021, to increase the price of our online program. So in August, I believe from the 1st of August, we generally do this annually. We haven't done this for a while because of the lockdown, etc. But on the 1st of August 2021, we will be increasing our 7-module sourcing blueprint price point by a considerable amount, by an amount anyway. So because we're going to be increasing the price, we're also going to be increasing certain aspects of the program. So if you're someone who's been interested in potentially participating on our 7-module online sourcing blueprint program, but for some reason you procrastinated, or for some reason you haven't decided to actually jump in, what I would love for you to do is write the word jump in the chat first and foremost, so I know. I got Yogesh in the chat who says England scored a goal. Well done to England. Hopefully some of us on the stream will actually score a goal by moving further faster in our property investing journey, so we can actually really celebrate with some of those people on the England team when they really score a goal. So anyway, like I was saying, we are going to be increasing our price of our sourcing blueprint online program. That's going to be increased from the beginning of August. So if you are someone who's procrastinated, or you're actually interested in being on our program, send us an email to indicate that you are interested in jumping on a program potentially before the price increases, because that will be happening on the 1st of August. Now, that was one of the reasons why I said to the team, I'd love to give some more free content to the community, just so that when the price does go up, if, for example, it's out of the financial bracket of some people, at least they'll have some of that free content available to them. But unfortunately, as mentioned, we didn't get the 14 likes, we didn't get the 14 comments, so we won't be doing that. But August 1st, price goes up. It is what it is. Further to that, for those of you who haven't engaged with the 21 days of your property investing success, the great thing is, although we won't be doing the 14 days of free content based on episode 63's request, we will still be keeping up, for now anyway, the 21 days of your property investing success content, which was delivered in January of 2021. So if you want to go and connect with that content, you can do that by going to the link impactproperties.co.uk/day one. I'll put that into the chat so you guys have that as well. That is impactproperties.co.uk/day one. Okay, and that will take you straight to the day one content of the 21 days of your property investing success, where I spent 21 days with you guys, sharing with you guys insights and principles and secrets that I've used in order to become more successful in my property journey over the last rough 2 decades. So again, guys, if you haven't engaged with that, go press that link, utilize that link in order to help you move further faster in your property investing journey by watching the 21 days of your property investing success. Now, mentioned earlier before, some appreciation for those of you who have donated to the channel in any way, shape or form. If you are interested in donating to the channel, if you're someone who's saying to yourself, you know what, I'm getting so much value from this channel, I need to just give back, I need to pay it forward, I want to put something in just to say thank you, so that going forward as this channel grows, I know I've been a part of what they're doing, I know I've been a part of how they've built, I've been a part of their success. If you're interested in that, you can go to the link that is going in the chat right now, and that link is impactproperties.co.uk/donate, and by using that link, it will give you the opportunity for you to be able to invest into our channel by putting your money where your mouth is, as they say. Don't just hit the like button, but show that you like by taking that financial step and supporting the channel. Also, now, last but not least, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, we are going to be doing some bigger and better things in our Facebook group going forward. We already have over 500 members in that group, but from time to time over the last couple of years, due to lockdown, etc., there's not really been a big focus on the group and pushing the group forward. However, that is going to change for the rest of this year. So if you're interested in being a part of our Facebook community, you can do that by going through the link that's just been thrown into the live chat, and you can basically get connected with us and move forward in that regard as well. I think that's the last announcement. I hope that's the last announcement. I can't imagine if we've got any other announcements beside that. You guys, if you want the link for the studio build, which is on the screen, I'll throw that one in there just so you guys have that in the chat. And now I think that is all the announcement. Let me look in the chat one more time, see if we've got any questions, just so I make sure I'm answering all the questions you guys may have before I jump off tonight's stream. Okay, we got a couple questions that have come through. Awesome. All right, okay, so questions from Yogesh. Cool. Great question, Yogesh. Excuse me. So Yogesh asked a question. He says, any tips on negotiating the price when buying a house? How not to offer too low, not to upset the owner? What form of words help? I think one of the things I'd say to you, and this is not just for Yogesh, this is for everybody. And again, this goes back to the key theme of today's video, of today's live stream. A deal's not yours until it's done. The two things I'd say to kind of touch base with Yogesh's question and provide some kind of real clear answers. I'll come to the negotiating part later, because negotiation is its own thing. It needs time to really understand negotiation. I could share with you guys some principles in regards to negotiation, but what I would say is the live streams, unless we're asking that question at the beginning of the live stream, we're not really going to have time to really deep dive into that. If you want some insights into negotiation, this is something that we deal with on our 7-module program, and we definitely deal with on our 12-month program. Because I knew that there's not enough content out there on negotiation in property, that's why I actually did the 21 days of your property investing success at the beginning of this year. So what I would advise you to do, if you're someone who's tuning into this and you really want to know more about negotiation, go and watch that 21 days of content, the 21 days of your property investing success. Go to that link, impactproperties.co.uk/day 1, which is in the live chat right now. Now, by going there, you will be able to engage with some of the strategies and techniques that I share around negotiation. I think we had 2 days. If there's anyone who's on the stream right now who was with us on the 21 days of your property investing success, if you remember, was it 2 or 3 days that we did on negotiation? Because I know that came under marketing, but I know that came under managing. So let me know, guys, in the chat if it was 2 days or 3 days, if you remember. But long story short, during the 21 days of your property investing success, we went into enough depth to give you really a good insight into negotiation, because again, negotiation is probably one of the major aspects that a lot of our coaching clients and a lot of our students ask us about, which is why we definitely made sure in the 21 days of your property investing success we included content on that, because we know so many people have no idea what they're doing as it pertains to negotiation. Now, if you're not interested in going through the 21 days of content, what you can do is you can go to last week's live stream where I spoke about the 3 keys to every sale. Last week, episode 63, is a very powerful live stream. And it's very powerful content if you really want to learn about negotiation, because I talk about the 3 fundamental frameworks that you can use to negotiate. Okay, so again, last week's stream for the first part of your question, Yogesh, or the 21 days of your property investing success, either of those, episode 63 or the 21 days, impactproperties.co.uk/day 1 will help you with that. So feel free to jump into that, Yogesh. Now, with the second part of your question, okay, how not to offer too low, not to upset the owner, and what form of words would help. Let's go into the first part. The way that you don't offer too low, not to upset the owner, and I'm just going to be very transparent, a lot of the work we do and a lot of the work we teach our students to do, and Yogesh, you'll know this from watching the live show so much, is to work directly to vendor. Now, if you're working directly to vendor, one of the things you do, and it is a negotiation skill or tactic, is you don't spend your time going forward with your offer, what you do is you spend your time listening and hearing what the person you're working with wants. And then coming to the second part of your question, what words or how to frame the words. Well, if you're clearly listening to what the person you're speaking to wants, what you can do is you can actually use their words to create the sofa or the bed that your offer sits inside of. Okay, and that's again, it's a negotiation strategy which we talk about more in depth on our training program. So not like we don't have enough time on a live stream to really go deep dive into it and break down the central tenets, the execution, and also the application, and when to know when to use this technique over other techniques that we teach as well. But again, hopefully that's more than enough information for you, Yogesh, in terms of answering your question. Let us know in the chat, Yogesh, how many stars you give to that answer. But like I said, in terms of negotiation, go look at the 21 days of your property investing success, and or go look at episode 63 of the live streams, which was last week, which you might have actually been on. I can't remember if you was on last week, but again, go watch that. That will help you. And then in terms of the second and third part, the second and tertiary part of your question, the real key is to listen out to what the person's saying, really listen for what they're looking for, really listen to what they're trying to achieve as a result of that sell, and then use that to create a chair, cushion, or bed of the offer that you're about to present. All right, so Yogesh, that's your answer to your question. Let us know how many stars you give that answer in the chat. All right, now with that being said, where we at, we've got another question. Okay, another question from Yogesh. Let me grab this question real quick. Yogesh, thank you for sending in so many questions as well. It's always helpful to have questions in the stream because it helps everybody. It doesn't just help yourself, it helps everybody in the community who are trying to use property as a vehicle to move forward. So again, thank you for the questions that you do put in the stream. They're extremely helpful for everyone. All right, cool. So second question from Yogesh. Yogesh says he's selling his own house. Any tips on preparing the house, like baking cakes, candles, clear clutter, etc., to maximize the price and things to say? You see, Yogesh, this is great. Like, what you've done is you've asked the question, but to a degree you've kind of answered the question. Now, I'm not one of those overt people in terms of baking cakes. I don't think it puts the kind of cherry on top that you're really looking for. What I would say, and the whole baking cake philosophy, for those of you who don't know, basically there is a school of thought that if you're selling a house or a home, you should bake a cake, you know, earlier on that day or the day before viewers are coming to view. And the philosophy behind it, I'm going to share this because I want you to understand. The philosophy behind it is not bake a cake because of superstition and good luck. The reason they say you should bake a cake is because of the aroma that home baked bread or home baked cakes brings to a house. It's a very homely aroma, and in the UK that's something that's really sold in terms of a concept or ideology of a home. A home is a place where you bake and, you know, you spend time waiting for the baking to get done and all of those things. Now, what I'd say to you, Yogesh, is I don't think you have to bake a cake. All right, I don't think you should bake a cake. But think about the underlying principle. Again, it comes back to what we spoke about today with Dmx and his long-term fiance. What's the underlying principle? Where did Desiree potentially go wrong? And in her going wrong in that area, how is that having a knock-on effect on your property journey? So for you specifically, Yogesh, what I'd say is think about what kind of aromas and scents you can use in the property to bring a real nice fresh smell to the house. Now, what many people do wrong is they leave their family scent in the house. If you're selling your own home, your family scent is going to be something you're used to. And because it's something you're used to, you're not going to see anything wrong with it. But again, one of the biggest mistakes people make, and again, this goes back to negotiation, is only thinking about themselves. They don't think of other people. And this is something we've covered on the live show so many times before because it's such a crucial element to being successful in property. Sometimes what you've got to do is just take a step back, take a seat back and say, you know what? What's going to be ideal for someone else? Okay, so you mentioned clearing clutter. Of course you should clear clutter. Why should you clear clutter? Because if you're thinking about other people, that's what another person's going to want. Another person's going to appreciate the fact that the house was not very cluttered and they could walk around and navigate really nicely and really well. But not only are they going to appreciate the fact that they could navigate nicely around the property, they're also going to appreciate the fact that they can actually see the property. Okay, one of my most recent viewings, the property had a whole bunch of stuff around it, and as a result you couldn't really see the property. You don't know what's actually on that wall. You don't know what's actually under that particular piece of furniture, especially if the furniture is not minimalistic. You know, some people, what they do is they take a very minimalistic approach when they're selling their own property, and what they do is they will rejig the furniture, they'll rejig, you know, the layout, and they'll do that because they know, I'm setting this up for sale. I'm not setting it up for my convenience, I'm setting it up for sale. Okay, so I'd say think about it like that. The way I usually say it, and it doesn't work for long term for people who've been investing for years, because most people who've been investing for years, they've got a lot of bad habits. It's like driving. I remember when I went to learn how to drive with my instructor, I had already been driving for about 4 or 5 years, or I had learned how to drive 4 or 5 years before I went to take lessons with my instructor. And I remember my driving instructor saying to me, I know you know how to drive, however, you may have a lot of bad habits. So what I want you to do is spend these times we're doing lessons to unlearn the bad habits. Okay. Now, if you really take on board what I've just said, you will see why so many people who have 8 properties, 12 properties, 15 properties still reach out to me and say, oh, Samuel, I need you to coach me, because they understand from the things I'm breaking down that property investing is not taught in schools. So as a result, they learn a lot of bad habits doing what they do all the time. And at the end, they realize the result of the bad habits when they've accumulated X amount of properties, and then look back and think, you know what, I could have done that better. And not only from the original lessons they've learned from that experience, as we spoke about earlier on in the show, but also from bringing on board a coach or bringing on board someone who can support them see from a different vantage point, they really put themselves in the best position to really fly forward. So what I'd say to you, Yogesh, is think about it from another person's perspective. What are they looking for when they come to the house? Baking might not be the thing, especially with our new generation Ys and generation X's and generation Z's, or whatever they're called now. With a lot of the new society of people that are coming up, they're not gonna bake. They're not interested in baking. Okay, the Great British Bake Off has typically very elderly people on the show. Okay, and when I say that, I mean, you know, hosting the show, delivering the content, etc. And the reason why is because that's a specific audience that are interested in that. The reality is the new generation are not looking for what the old generation are looking for. So you should be asking yourself, okay, who's the kind of ideal person to buy this property? Why would they want to buy this property? And what would their lifestyle be like? After you answer those 3 questions, you can then make your house extremely appealing to them. And I'd even go deeper and say you can make your house even more appealing to them than anyone else can make their property appealing to them. So Yogesh, let us know in the comments how many stars you give to that answer to your question. Yeah, believe it was full on, but definitely make sure that it's clutter free. Make sure that you maximize price by tailor making your property to the buyer. And this is something we do in our development projects. It's the same thing. We ask ourselves, who is going to ideally want to live here? Why would they want to live here? And what is their current lifestyle like? And what would they like to make their lifestyle like? That's a kind of 2-pronged question that we ask last. When we understand those 3 core questions, and obviously the second A and B part of the 3rd question, we then implement that layout, etc., framework, form factor into the property, apartments, flats, whatever it is, so that when the person comes, they can say, you know what, this is perfect. This is what I've been looking for. I actually wanted this and I didn't even know it existed. So that's how you play the game. So Yogesh, let us know in the chat how many stars you give to that answer. And then we can hopefully use that to help other people who are on the stream move further faster in their property investing journey also. Now, guys, let me know before I sign out if you've got value from tonight's show by writing the word value in the chat. Last but not least, let me let you know that you can still go and watch this video right here, which is all about how there are specific apps that will help you in your property investing journey. And what I've done is I've distilled that list of apps in order to help you guys move further faster on your property investing journey by basically doing that video right here, which breaks down the 5 best apps for property investing success. Guys, it's been a great stream, episode 64. I'm looking forward to seeing your property investing success. Feel free to connect with us on any of our social media platforms. And with that being said, I'm Samuel ICanWin Ikhinmwin. I'm going to love you and leave you and see you on the next one. Happy investing.